Okay, good afternoon, guys. Sorry I'm late. I was just sat watching the chart and I didn't realise what time it was. So, just check everything's working okay. I think so. Okay, excellent. Right, it's okay. I was just watching this, just wondering whether we were going to come down and tackle these lows or whether we were in a range and we were going to bounce and push up. So it's a bit hard to work out at the moment. So, are we coming down for a new low? I think we may do. Let me have a look. So I hope everyone had a good day yesterday. Last day of the week, Friday. Unbelievable, isn't it? Weeks are going so quick. So, Arminas, how you doing? Jay, how you doing, buddy? And Rodian, how you doing? Late evening for you. Very late evening, early hours. Okay, so let's see how we get on today. So we've got a touch here, and it fitted quite nice along the backside. So I put that there thinking that maybe we've got something like that. So if we can break below here, come back and retest the underside, I think there's a chance that's going to continue down. We seem to have a leg, and I wouldn't be surprised if we had another leg down. That's my thought process at the moment. What I'll do is quickly drag in the daily. We've had 2 candles now, so whether we're going to have a bit of a pullback, it's a bit hard to say. So just have to keep an eye on that. So NQ's looking almost identical. Sorry, my mistake. That's the yeah, it's very similar. It's all right. I was looking at the 5,000 tick chart. So it does look like we may get another leg down, so we'll just have to keep an eye on this. So, that is what I'm thinking, certainly to the lows. There's unfortunately no setup really for us, so I'm hoping we get a bit of a pullback, but I fear we won't. So looking at the market, is it closed on Monday? Oh, okay. So we got this leg down, a bit of a pullback. I expect that to get closer to here, which might give us a bit of a pullback enough to get in here. So that might be a bonus there. So let's just put that from there to there, and from there to there. We're at the bottom now. I need a pullback really. If we don't get back to here, then I can't get involved here really, because we're so far. I'd like a pullback and then maybe some further down, and if we can get the same here, we may get in early. So we'll see. So this is a good sign. So let's put that there like that. So a bit of sideways. I mean, it could just be a failed breakout. But I'd like it to come and bounce and then to start moving if I can catch it on the way down. But just for now, let's just drag this in on the picture so we know what I'm looking at. Wow, in fact, that actually fits within that channel. That's interesting. Need to get up here though. So it doesn't work on here, I don't think. It's always possible, but I like this touch there, a few touches there, and it touches nice along the backside, so it needs to get a little bit further up than that. Come on, push up a bit. Now that I don't like. So we've got a channel down there and a break. I think that's a good sign. So we got a leg and a leg. If we can get a lower high here, might be interested in taking a trade. Let's just make that a bit bigger. Nice second entry short there. Trouble is, I don't like what that is. It's a big engulfing bear bar, but I just don't like it, and the way that's triggered and pushed up. Probably a good reason not to get in on that. It never triggered anyway, so I'm surprised that did that. I'm just going to put that there for now. Touch, 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 touch. Let's consider this maybe as a break. Okay, we have got some news. Someone remind me if I forget when we're getting close to that, even though it's in big bloody letters here. I still have a tendency to miss it. Sometimes when you're that focused. Okay, so there is a second entry short there, so we need a lower high on there before I'll even consider looking for a short trade on here. So I mean, it does look like we're going to get a leg. We've had a leg down sideways and a leg. Trouble is, I just don't like that bar at the moment. I'd rather wait for a lower high, indicating to me we're coming down on the NQ. Then maybe if we can get a lower high here, that's a good sign. Computer, set timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Starting now.
Okay, I might as well use it just to get me within 10 minutes of this news. Okay, so we've got a leg down, so as it looks like we're going to get in a leg. It looks like we are here. Unfortunately, there's just no entry really there. So that would get us to a new low, leg down and leg down. So this does look like a channel. We had a break, a new high, leg, sideways leg. I'd like a pullback. trouble is you don't know it's going to turn from there. We're almost at the lows now, see, so unless we're going to pull back here, there's no trade, there's no setup there. No, it's too late now. We're at the bottoms. So in fact, what I'd like to... Oh, no, it's okay. Okay, so we've made a new low and we've had a strong bounce. So we've had a break, a bounce. Not only have we made a new low, we've bounced off the bottom of this channel, so this will be interesting to see what happens. Could consider that a lower high, but I don't like it. It's just way too far from the EMA and the trend channel for me. It might work, but doesn't interest me that. It's a weak position there. I'd expect that if we don't consider to come down to get stopped out. Okay, and another low. Don't like that. It might be a case of a break, two pushes down. As we know, market likes to work in twos, so we've got two pushes up for a break, 2 pushes down to play out that channel, which we've had 1, 2. So let's see whether we're reverse here or not. Certainly could do. We could just have a pullback. So if you'd have taken that lower high, what would you have got? You'd have squeezed a point, maybe not even a point. If you went a tick below there, it's about there. So yeah, you'd have squeezed a point. It would have to tick through. So just didn't interest me, that one. I mean, we've come off here. It is, well, yeah, I mean, you could argue it's a lower high. I tend to think that's a channel and it's a break. So Apex reached out to me that if I don't provide them with my exact strategy with my NinjaTrader log files, they can't approve anymore. I've heard that from somebody else. I don't see, it's a bit odd, this is. I've heard that before. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. They should, I mean, why do you need to apply? It just doesn't make sense to me, that. Unless you trade in an unorthodox way or you make unusual profits. I've not heard that before. What can I suggest? I'll tell you what, tell me, if you don't mind, what is your average daily profit over, say, the last week? What is your average daily profit? Yeah, I do as well. What's your average daily profit? I'm just trying to get a picture. If you've got unusual profits or unusually large profits, give me a little bit more information. What are you averaging profit a day? How many contracts are you trading? What size is your account? Maybe, you know, give us a. There's a bunch of us in here. Is your equity curve very volatile? Yeah, just give us a bit of information, and there's a bunch of us in here. Maybe we can all help you with a little bit of advice. Yeah, if there's anything slightly unorthodox about the way you trade, then that might be something to do with it. But if you're averaging $200 to $300 a day per account, but yeah, just I can't cheat trading. See, I mean, if you're trading 2 contracts, well, at the end of the day, as long as you're making consistent money, if you're trading 10 contracts on a $50,000 account, as long as you're making consistent money, why can that not be a strategy? If it works, it's a strategy that works. It works, but I'm just wondering whether you're doing any slight unorthodox, you know, ways of trading. So that might be why. So give us a bit of information. There's a bunch of us here. Maybe we can all shed a bit of light. There is a second entry short here. But it's a bit congested, so I'm just going to sit tight at the minute because I just don't know whether it's going to trap me and push up. We're quite far from the EMA at the moment. We've had low after low here, so it could turn up at any time, or it might continue down, but I'm staying out of any possible trade here. Yeah, see, DV says they want to make sure you're not using any type of automated strategy. I suppose it's a valid thing if you are, or if anybody does. Just try and give us a bit more information. Is go long on one account. Sure, yeah, that's another one. The only way you can get away with that is computer stop. The only way you can get away with that is on a automated strategy. Is like, I'm assuming you're using some sort of a bot or something to do the trading for you. They don't allow that. I'm averaging around $500 trading 2 contracts. I guess there was one day where I made 2,000 on one account from a big swing, but I've been months and it's less than 30%. Okay, so how much is in your account, if you don't mind me asking? I mean, $2,000 is a lot in one trade, trading 2 contracts. I mean, you'd have to make 20 points for that, so it's quite a large amount. So yeah, just let us know from my total profits. Just let us know how much your profit is in that particular account you're talking about. This is 25,000 accounts, and it's at 33,200. Okay. Okay, so you got $8,000 in there. You got over $8,000. So you got over $8,000. And one day was, see, the $2,000 account. Okay, so let's say, for instance, we had a big, massive market drop, and we had a really strong downtrend, and you took a trade. If I took a trade on a strong downtrend, I may try to hold it, but it's a 20. It's making 20 points there, in one particular trade. So, I suppose all you can do is just tell them your method for trading. Failing that, they're asking for what your method is. So if you tell them the method, they should pay you. So what I do is jot down your strategy. See, my strategy is I look for second entries, failures, lower, and so on and so forth. Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, a $25,000 account making $2,000 in a day, it's quite a chunk of change. But you are over the 30%, so the 30% rule shouldn't come into play. That shouldn't be an issue. So yeah, I don't know really. I don't know, but you. Yeah, that might be. I mean, they're going to have some sort of software or something in the system that picks up something a bit unusual. So maybe it's just part of their how they do things. I think if you tell them, I mean, I'm assuming. Look, at the end of the day, if they ask you about your trading strategy, every trader should have a strategy. So I would just literally jot them down. My strategy is this. This is what I go for. I go for so and so points. I have a runner, or occasionally, if the conditions are right, I'll go for a bit more. Just give them what they want. Write down what they're asking for and send them off. And effectively, you've done what's required of you. So it does sound a bit. I don't know how they work, see, because there will be people who will try and manipulate the system. You can guarantee on that. But I just give them what they want. If then they refuse, then I'd say you've got a reason to be a bit peed off then. I heard this from someone else a month ago. Is this the second time it's happened to you? Because I'm sure there was someone on the stream who said it was the second month it happened to. So I'd just give them what they want. If it means you've just got to jot something quickly down and say, okay, this is what you want, this is what you've got. But yeah, I get your frustration. You know, you work hard, you do your trades, and you make your money. You follow the rules, and then someone says, "Oh, we need to know why." You know. I mean, if you're making consistent money, they should be able to look at your chart. I mean, they should be able to look at it and find out why. Hey, BJ, how you doing, buddy? They should be able to look at your trading. I'm pretty sure they can look at everything. I mean, if you trade 2 contracts, if you happen to go in at 8 contracts on that day, then they may sort of say, well, that's a bit unusual, so they will just terminate my accounts, even though I'm consistent. I mean, I couldn't stop them legally. See, unless you're doing something unusual, something slightly risky, I wouldn't really worry about it too much. It's not going to look good on them if someone works and gets it up to. I've not heard of anybody being too profitable. They usually just copy your trades, and I've not heard that. Answer me a quick question. That $8,000 you got in that account, how long has it taken you to build that? Give me a rough idea. We haven't even had the news yet, have we? we had the news yet? We haven't even had the news yet. We're about 4.5 minutes to the news and the market's already tanking. Or is that just that second leg? That's more than the second leg. Yeah, I don't like hearing stuff like that because it does make me nervous. But, you know, there will be a lot of people that will be taking $20,000 a month out and more. Bit under 2 months. So $4,000 a month. $4,000 a month, just over $4,000 on 2 contracts. That's not terrible. Can you explain your strategy? Not necessary to us, but can you explain your strategy? Because if you can, you know, if everyone's got a strategy, they should be able to explain it. So I would just tell them what it is. I don't see how they can just say, sorry, we don't believe you, we'll shut down your account, you're not having your money. I can't see that happening. And if they did, I'll be tempted to make a YouTube video and just put everything out in the open and cover your arse. But yeah, it does make me a bit nervous about hearing stuff like that. Very detailed. Okay, and have they got back to you? Wait for a reply. Did you say this? Were you on the stream about 6 weeks ago with the same problem or not? Because the guy that had a reply saying, okay, that's fine, we'll pay you your money. So unless it was you, I would wait for your reply. You've sent them what they want. It's not going to look good, see, for Apex's business if they start... I've been withdrawing monthly for over 2 years. That doesn't make sense to me, that doesn't. They've been happy with you before. Maybe something's just flagged something up. Well, yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. A reply, yeah, and no, it wasn't me. First, okay, there was a guy on the stream that said the same thing. We had a conversation about it. He said he was waiting for a reply. Later in the day, message, I've got a reply. They said, that's fine, we'll pay you money. So I wouldn't be concerned about it at the moment. Put it this way, if you've been taking regular payments out for 2 months, you're a trader. You're simply a trader. You're not a scammer. You're not playing the system. You're a trader. If you can trade and make money consistently for 2 years, you've got my votes. That's all I can say. You can't scam something long term like that. I can't see a way around it anyway. Trust me, people way better than the likes of me and you will have tried in the past and failed. So I wouldn't worry about it. My guess is something's just flagged up. But if something flags up, look at the guy's account. If you can see he's making money every month for the last 2 years, I can't see a problem. Being too profitable doesn't wash with me. That is not an excuse. So I won't worry about that. Sorry, I don't mean you, I mean them. That will not be an excuse for them to say to you, too profitable. If you're making money consistently, they can be copying your trades and making money themselves. So I won't worry about that. You know, I have the odd chat with Chris Childers. He made $14,000 a month ago, in a month, and he's growing. So if there was anything untoward, we'd have heard about it by now. That's the great thing about social media. People can chat and talk amongst themselves. Okay, we've got this news about pending. So I won't worry about it. Yeah, I know what it's like to depend on payments. Yeah, I won't worry about it at the moment. It might have been some software that's just flagged it, but just sit tight, wait for the reply. You can't do nothing until you find out what they're going to say. Okay, so that measured leg, see how it's bouncing on that measured leg. I love it when it does that. Yeah, I won't worry too much just yet. But if you've been taking money out for 2 years, mate, I'll tell you something, you've got some good skills there. and that is going to make you some nice money. So I wouldn't worry about it just too much just yet. Anybody that's been taking regular money out for 2 years has got my respect, because I know how damn difficult trading is. Yeah, you can't withdraw money for 2 years consistently without knowing what you're doing. So I wouldn't stress too much just yet, because they'll probably get back to you and say, okay, no problem. I've heard of it happen a couple of times. Perhaps it's something that just flags it up. It might just be a random thing. All companies have types of procedures like that where they do random checks for one reason or another. So I really wouldn't stress out too much yet, but I wouldn't. Okay, news, been and gone. Superb. Okay, so we do seem to be having a... companies do that. They have random checks for one reason or another. They do. It's a fact of life. So I won't worry about it. Just be pleased you're a consistent trader. Your hard work's paid off. I mean, they should be able to look in your account and see exactly what you did anyway. I wouldn't even know how to get the logs. I really wouldn't. Okay, so news has come down. We've hit this measured move. We've touched it a few times and we've had a bounce. Now, looking on the NQ there, that looks to me like there may be a bit of an overshoot. Let me have a look. Maybe not. Maybe just a break two pushes down to a new low. Yeah, my experience is if you've been making money for the last 2 years, it's nothing much to do with strategy. It's to do with the man, not the strategy, in my opinion. I've heard lots of traders saying all strategies work, but it's the person that trading the strategy is key to it. So I'd say you've done really well. So we've hit that measured move. Do I want to go long here yet? No, not yet, because we're still currently in a downtrend and we could come down some more. That looks to me like either a channel, a break and a new low, or a possible overshoot. So I'm not thinking about going short just yet. Maybe an option for a lower high, but I don't think this is ready to come down just yet. After that, if we are in this downtrend, I'd expect it to come close to this level before I think about entering short again. Yeah, I won't worry about it. It's probably just a random thing. The guy that was on here a month or so ago got back to us and said, yeah, it's fine, they've paid, no problem. But yeah, it is worrying. I absolutely understand that. You know, you work hard, you expect to get paid. Yeah, Jay's right. Put it this way, if you've got a guy who's making $20,000 a month, yeah, and there are plenty of them, and they'll be taking $2,000, 10%, so they'll be making $2,000 from him. That is more than they'll make off a guy who's blowing evaluations. He won't be spending that much a month, and that's without copying trades either, so I really won't worry about it. Reverse head and shoulders. I'll tell you what, Jay, your head and shoulders are looking oddly shaped. But I get what you're saying. I'm just trying to tip my head around to see if I can figure out what's going on. Yeah, I'm assuming this is your head. shoulder, head. So yeah, you would think maybe a little bit of a pullback here, and then you've got a funny shaped head and shoulders, Jay. Are you rubbing your rock? Jay sent me a picture of his rock. What do you call it, a stone? Have I just insulted it by calling it a rock? Crystal, sorry, my mistake. Lucky crystal. I rub me balls, I do. Me crystal balls. Show the respect my apologies, mate. Yeah, I get what you're doing there. There's the arm, there's the shoulder, there's the head. So we need another shoulder here. Otherwise, we got a severely broken collarbone by the looks of things. So a bit of a pullback here, and then a push up. They do supposed to work these, don't they? But trouble is with this NQ. I mean, you may not call that a channel, and it may not be. But what I like about it is we're touching there, and at the bottom. So whether that's an overshoot. But it did start dropping all of a sudden. I wait for it to break, then pull back, then get in. Yeah. Well, it's doing it, isn't it? There's the shoulder. So, theoretically, we should get an arm, shouldn't we? I mean, if that is an overshoot, it did just drop all of a sudden, didn't it? We've come back and retested. It kind of looks like it's bottoming, but you just don't know. See, going long here for me at the moment would be, I would consider that counter trend trade, because at the moment we do seem to be going down. Now, having said that, in the next 30 minutes we could be up here and we could have a range, so it may just be the bottom of a range, but we have made a perfect measured leg. So it could do a lot of things. See, I have another dilemma here. This is the 5,000 tick chart. So that's the 5,000 tick chart. That doesn't half look like a nice looking downtrend to me. Touch, touch, touch. Very close at the bottom. That's the 5,000 tick chart, that is. So we could come up here and drop. So that's a could. Look at the actual head and shoulders on the NQ. I'll complete it now over. Yeah. So that's an oddly shaped guy. So I'm assuming there's your head. There's your shoulder. There's your shoulder. Yeah, I suppose so. Trouble is, we're at this level now. This is the last place I would want to be going long. I'm not saying it won't push up, but I get what you're saying. We got the shoulder. Sorry, you got the arm, shoulder, head, shoulder. No. This is the bottom of it. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. So shoulder, head. Oh, yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, so shoulder, head, shoulder. Right side of the body, lower leg. Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I thought, yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. Patterns obviously make a difference. I tend to look at bull flags a bit. They can be pretty good. Let's see what happens here. So that's closed. In fact, I can micro adjust that. I don't know if it's going to make a difference. So, so maybe there is a bigger channel there. Trouble is, you get mixed sort of a mixed picture now. Why won't that come down? There we go. I'm just going to open this up a little bit here. Let's figure out what's going on here. So we got a few touches there. So I think that's okay. We've got a touch there, a couple of touches there. That looks like an overshoot. So I'd expect to push up. I mean, I suppose you could. Okay, maybe it's that because we got this push up. Maybe the bottom of a spike, top of it. Maybe that is just a channel itself like that. It's possible. It's kind of working in that tier, isn't it? So we'll have to just keep an eye on that. So there is a possibility of maybe a spike in a channel, and that would keep that in there, and it would fit better there. Touch. We'll have to see. If it holds and starts to come down here, maybe a lower high, then maybe that's the case, but it fits nice down the bottom. So and the reason I like that is because on the 5,000 tick chart, touch, we're still in this channel, I think. So we'll have to just keep an eye on this. So, but we are stalling here. So leg and a leg. Maybe we are coming down some more. I need a bigger screen. I can't help but look at the previous 4 bull days. This was a big 2-leg break. Should be heading up to new highs if the price action plays. Yeah. Just looking at this daily. So we've bounced here twice, haven't we? What do? Went up there, went a bit sideways. So we could just go a bit sideways. We could come down, or we could push straight up. It's hard to say. But I think to get to this measured move, if I was going to get into this, I would want it to get back here somewhere. So you just don't know, do you? We started off up here, we pushed up, and then we dropped, so you don't know whether we're going to come back and maybe retest this. Sometimes the daily can help you a little bit, but trouble is even a little pullback on a daily chart can be 20-30 points on this. It is holding there, which is a good sign. If we go from that spike, to there to there. It fits nice on the backside. So what I would be looking for here is a lower high. Give it a chance to, if you look at that channel, I think it looks okay. We've had a bit of a break. Maybe we push up, make a quick new high, and then drop. Last 4 days on the 2000. Oh, shit. Sorry. It's all right. I have a niggly shoulder sometimes, and I've just hit a nerve on it. Sorry about that. Last 4 days in 2000 tick chart shows a channel, but that doesn't look it, so I don't often. Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know why he doesn't actually, because I mean, one day leads into the next. Maybe not for us, but for a lot of other traders who would trade, swing traders who maybe trading every 2 or 3 days. You would be, I mean, if you look at this trend channel I've got here incorporates about 10 or 12 days, 10 or 15 days. So why would you not do it here? So let's see what happens here now. So it looks like we've got a leg and a leg. So maybe a new high, break new high. Or would you put that there? Yeah, it kind of works either way, doesn't it? See, there is always the slight possibility that we could sort of be in a range, and this is sort of like a fell break out of it. There's that possibility. It might not even be a downtrend. Just because it's touched 3 times doesn't automatically mean we're necessarily a downtrend. We just got 2 measured legs. I mean, the measured legs played out and it's reversed, so could come back in here. It's certainly feasible. Leg, bounced a bunch of times and up we go. So I think it's useful sometimes to just keep zooming out now and again and just looking to make sure everything's right. But if you take that away, yeah, I'm not sure about that either. Let's have a look what happens here. I'm quite happy that is one channel. Hmm. Excuse me a second. Okay, sorry about so we're going to touch. I mean, it could be a channel. It doesn't look terrible, I got to say. So looking at the 5,000 tick chart, maybe a break and a new low. It's hard to say, really. You've just got to be a little bit careful. So maybe that there is the channel, which looks okay. 2 legs, we're going to break new high. Just got to be careful going short here, so we need something decent, really. Maybe a lower high or even a failure. Because if you go short, it could trigger you and sting you and go higher. It's hard to say at the moment. What I will say is I like the fact that it's bounced off something there, which is possibly a sort of a bottom. I'm not even really convinced it is. Let's just bin it for now. It's not the best looking channel, but it's all we got at the moment. Let's see if that triggers and comes down or pushes up. Okay, little channel. At the moment, I think it's probably safer to assume we're working our way down. You just got to be really careful taking a short here because you could get stung. I'd like to see 2 clear efforts to push higher before I think about going short because you really could get stung. That could trigger and push up. Okay, that looks like a second entry long. I'd like to see that trigger. Now I'm hoping this comes down. My slight issue with going short here is this congestion. Got channel down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher, failure. I'd like to see that come down. You could put a short below there.
Order submitted.
Just don't like the way that's triggered below there.
Order cancelled.
It's just a bit congested for me. I think the chance of that coming down is pretty good. It's just a big ass bar, that is. Yeah, it is a big bar, Chris. 16, I've just noticed 16 ticks, one above, one below. It's just too much risk. It is congested. I think it slightly will, but I'm not betting on it. It's congested. You just don't know. It might sting you. I mean, look, that's triggered. It's already coming back. It's just not worth trading when it's like that. I mean, it's clear congestion. Yeah, sometimes it still works, but I'm not a massive fan of the channel. There's a lot I don't like about this chart. And, you know, I generally like to be trading when I'm confident I know which direction I'm trading in it. And yeah, it does look like it's a downtrend, but it's also just two legs. So it could go up. It could trap some shorts and then rock it up. I wouldn't be surprised if it did that, you know. But when it starts to go sideways, it really could go up or down. It could go up, take out that short, come down, take out that long, and then rock it up or come down. It's just not worth it when it's like that. I mean, if you took that straight away, I'd be expecting that to get stopped out. It's triggered it by one tick and started to go back. So, you know, as much as it kind of looks like it's going down, it's just, there's 4 bars there, not including them 3. It's just not worth it. Break and pull back, yeah, maybe. I don't like any of this chart at the moment. It's not very clear to me, and I don't want to really chuck any of my money at it before at least I know which direction it's going, or I'm confident I know. And at the moment, it could do anything. I mean, it kind of looks like a channel. It fits a couple of times at the bottom, so we've had a break. Normally, you'd expect a couple of legs down, but it could really just be a range. If this is the bottom of the range, it could be a failed breakout and it's working its way in. We've got a channel here as well, you know. We know we could make a break, so we look like we've had 2 legs down. We could go up. In fact, to be fair, I'm starting to think maybe we are going up. So we've got a leg down, 1 attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. Yeah, it's Trap City this is at the moment. You took a short there, and I get why you might have done it. It is a failure, but you got stung purely and simply because it's congested. If it's congested, you know, there's uncertainty. And if there's uncertainty in these markets, we don't move them. The big boys do. And if they're uncertain which way it's going to go, you know, what hope have we got? So the best thing to do is just to stay out of them. I'm learning myself. I still have the odd moment where I get into a congested trade. I did one the other day. I got out for break even, luckily enough, but as soon as I got in and it started going sideways, I thought it was a bit congested and I shouldn't have done so. You know, we're all still learning. Jay, you think 50-24, 50-30? It could still drop. It's just unclear. We've got this sort of channel. We've had a break, maybe. I don't know. I'm really not comfortable with how this channel looks. You know, it's not good enough for me to trust it at the moment. I'm hoping as the day, you know, as the chart progresses, I should be a little bit more comfortable in what I'm comfortable in. In fact, I'm just going to move this ES out of the way because it's, sorry, the NQ out of the way for a minute because it's just, I'm tempted to get a bigger chart. I like having this on it, but it does get in my way sometimes. So you guys can get it. above your head, can't you, on one of your charts? So let's just whack it out of the way. Because it's affecting me thinking just at the second. Okay, so we got a channel, we got a break, but we got first attempt higher, second attempt higher. It could come tumbling down. I'm starting to think it might do. So if this is a channel, then maybe it is going to come down and hit this, or maybe we're just going to have a leg and a leg. They'll break out the bottom of this little channel, and then off we go. Who knows? Sometimes you're just not meant to know. I've given up trying to... I used to get stressed about not knowing what was going on. But I had an email conversation with Mac, and he went, you know, if the guys have been doing this for years don't know what's going on, like he says to us, you just can't trade this stuff. And if he doesn't trade it and he's a seasoned trader, then, you know, sometimes you're not always meant to know. On reflection, I should have taken the earlier 0849 short. Congestion flat AMA, yeah. I mean, it could go up or down here. I mean, the NQ's looking like it might likely go down, but we know how quick the NQ can turn. So, you know, I get when you're sort of newer, you're itching to trade. God, that desire to want to jump in is really hard to ignore. In fact, you can't do it, you know, in those earlier days. But I suppose as you get loss after loss, you learn from your mistakes and you do start to filter out the crap. Because it really could go. I mean, it doesn't even matter whether it comes down here. If you take a short and it triggers you and comes to the top, it could still come down here. You might be thinking in the right direction, but when it's like this, you know, you go up and you think, yeah, we're pushing up, so you buy. And it comes straight down. You think we're going down, so you sell. So... and then what happens? It goes up and takes you out. So you go up again and think, oh, I'll sell. I'll buy. And it triggers you and comes down again. So you think you'll sell. Look what happens. It triggers below that bar and pushes up and stops you out. You can't win in this stuff. You really can't. Take that short, stops you out. You take that long, triggers you, stops you out. You can't really win when it's like this. We don't even need to know what's going on here. No one knows. That's why it's doing what it is. It's uncertainty. You know, there's a mixed amount of buyers and sellers here, and there's mixed opinions. When there's mixed opinions, who's going to win? It's a toss of a coin in some cases. It is starting to look more bearish on the NQ, which is why I kind of like having that, because, you know, we've tried a few times to get higher, and it does seem to be working down maybe in a channel. So that's a possibility, but, you know, things can change. It kind of looks like it might be. So, you know, maybe this is sort of like an upside down bull flag or a bear flag, whatever you want to call it. So maybe we are going to come down, but we really could do anything in all honesty. Definitely had some awkward days, haven't we? I mean, what it certainly is amongst anything is two legs down, whether you think it's a channel. It kind of works as a spike and channel. Got touch. The reason it makes me think that it might be is because we got equally good touches along the bottom. But, you know, in an hour's time, you know, we may be looking at this and it might just come up. So it could just be a bigger, you know, after this channel, you know, you generally think we're going to make a new low. And obviously, if we're in range days, as soon as it touches the bottom, even if it's in the middle of the channel, it doesn't need to break and have a new low. It could just rocket straight up. See, the NQ's looking slightly bearish. There is a lower high there, but the trouble is you're still trading right in the middle of that lot. So the best thing to do is just to stay out of that. Okay, so if you took that one, maybe a fell break out of there. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself at the moment. So, what did we do yesterday? It was mainly a range with the exception of a push-up. Let's have a look. Does that help us or not? Bitcoin's pushing up nice at the moment. It's above 52,000. So it could be a couple of legs down. We could push up back to this all-time highs again. So, see, Mac never bothers with these, but to me, it's common sense that it makes a difference. I mean, I've drawn a channel there which has incorporated the last 20 days. What you know? Why wouldn't you incorporate the last couple of days if it fits multiple times? Chances are, it's fitting in that area, and maybe that's just a see. We seem to work in this top tier, then in the bottom tier, then we had a push up and a pull, a little bit of sideways, and then work in this tier. So whether it is or not, I don't know. If I'm honest, but we seem to have a sort of a couple of legs down and a couple of legs up, then a bit of sideways, and maybe the start of another channel. It's just so hard to say at the moment, but I think you were probably. After that, sort of, we've had two perfect measured legs down. You would think we would push up now, so that's what I think it's probably better to do. I didn't like that channel anyway. It just what I wasn't a fan of it. So I think this is probably, whether you call it a range there or not, but a couple of legs down and quite likely a couple of legs up, and then we may come up here and hit new highs at some point. But I never liked that channel anyway, so sorry, my apologies. Let's remove that. So yeah, that kind of would make sense, wouldn't it? Let's have a nice manly purple colour. Let's go for a blue. Oh, I like that. Very bluey. Bit dark. Okay, so we've got a couple of legs down. This is likely a couple of legs up. So let's see. Okay, it's starting to make a bit more sense now. It was just a couple of legs really rather than a bigger channel. I mean, it kind of fitted, but I mean, regardless of whether it is or not, if it touches the bottom of a range, doesn't need to make a break in a new high or a new low. It can just turn and that's it. Okay. What's the So I believe the markets or the CME group is actually closed on Monday, which is a bit unusual. Don't they usually just shut at half day? So I probably won't trade on Monday. Sometimes, well, you don't know. Sometimes the volume's okay. Other times, you guys know about the US holidays more than me. Because we've got Easter coming up as well in about 6 weeks. In fact, I'm away for a couple of days. I'm away on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the end of the month. So yeah, Good Friday. So okay, the Friday's Easter, so I'll be off on the Friday. I'll be coming back on the Monday, so I'll be off on the Monday. I'm going away going down south, the south of the UK for a few nights. So that's about 6 weeks away. Can't believe we're talking about Easter already. It doesn't seem 5 minutes since we were sat here. A couple of days before Christmas. Unbelievable. I'm taking it as a holiday. Yeah, I might do as well. In fact, to be honest with you, up until recently, up until Christmas, I just tend to trade every single day I can. I never take holidays, and I'm starting to realise that when I do have a break, I really do feel refreshed. And I know when Mac trades, he likes his fishing trips and stuff, and I think I've probably put a bit too much time into it, probably been a bit too obsessed. So I think it's important to try and draw that line between work and not work, really. I mean, normally, if you go in your normal everyday jobs, you don't come home, have your tea, and go back to work for a couple of hours, do you? So I think I'm going to start taking holidays and bank holidays as opposed to doing half a day and just enjoying that extra bit of time off. Trading's pretty stressful. A 3 or 4 hour trading sessions like a full day in a lot of other jobs. So I'm going to take the Monday as well, actually. I may even go out and treat myself to a bit of fly fishing. I might go and stand on a lake, see if I can catch some trout. Taught me into it. Yeah, it is good. I mean, you have got to put time into the charts you have, but you've equally got to have a break as well, because you can probably, it's like any type of studying, you can do too much. You've got to take a break and refresh. I didn't realise how much I needed a break till I had 11 days off for Christmas, and how I felt like a completely different person. It's the trading's almost like a mind melt, a mind battle, isn't it? And you have got to take some time off and get refreshed. So I might do a spot fishing, actually, I think. Oh, I was going to show you guys something yesterday. Yeah, if anybody doesn't know, there you go. That's my phone there. So there you go. You can get Rhythmic on an app. This is an iPhone, this is. But you can get Rhythmic on an app. So for some reason you got a trade and your system goes down, you can quickly log into Rhythmic and close any positions in there. So you can just download that on an app. This is an iPhone, but I'm pretty sure you can get them. You can get it for Android or whatever device you got. So it is useful to have. If something happens with your internet and your phone and your computer dies, it'll take you 30 seconds to get into there, if that. And so download that. It's useful. I haven't had to use it yet, thank God, but I have played around with it, and I can, getting in and out of it quickly. So there you go. I took that screenshot of my phone yesterday. I was going to show you. So. Okay, so we've had 3 attempts to push higher here, so I would probably expect a bit of a pullback. Maybe a second entry line. That's what I was hoping, if we could get a couple of legs back, but there is a bit of congestion around there. You can probably see it there. And a bit of support along there, around about where it is now. Well, that's made a damn bit of difference. Just push straight through it. Yeah, I never take stuff like that. In all fairness, it's just too far from there. It's risk. The fact that it worked there is irrelevant, really. I mean, there could be something like that, I don't know, but I don't take them like that, floating around that midline. You can see it's struggling to get up for a starter, so 1, 2, 3, that would put me straight off that, really, and it's just too far from the EMA, really, because when it gets to like that, you tend to think we're going to have a bit of a pullback. We struggle to get up a few times, and the last thing you want to do is go along there, and it triggers you and comes back to here and gives you a nice setup. So, but there is, you can see that along there, so. I'm just putting that line on there just in case we have got a spike in a channel, because it would fit there. Paste. It actually fits perfect there, and there, and there, and there, just in case it comes down a bit lower. So leg, and another leg would get us down to here. You done, are you, bud? Yeah, you have a nice weekend too, mate. It's been warm in the UK at the moment. It's about 12 degrees outside centigrade, which is warm for this type of year. The iPhone Rhythmic app disconnects. Yeah, it does. I don't quite know why it does that, but I figure if your system's gone down, it'll be disconnected anyway. Yeah, I don't know why it does that. It does disconnect it, but if your system's stuck anyway, I think it's irrelevant. That's why I thought it would still be of use. But yeah, if you're going to play around with it and try it, in fact, I may even put a post on one of the Facebook groups and find out why it does that. But I figure if my internet's gone down, NinjaTrader's down anyway, so it's irrelevant that it cuts it off. I'm just, I would just be thinking about getting into Rhythmic and closing those positions. It only closes positions that are active. If you've got one, if you've got a limit order up here waiting, it won't close that. So, which is strange, because if you can't get back in the internet, you're just going to have to keep keep logged into Rhythmic and waiting for what looks like a trade to trigger if it does. I mean, whenever I open an order, I always put it up high or down low, so if anything does go wrong, at least it gives me a little bit of chance to rectify the problem before it may hit my order, whether it's, you know, up here or down here. I was chatting with someone on here the other day. Someone said they had a laptop on with Rhythmic up on a separate line. So if he's listening, we had a conversation with you last week. You said you had a laptop up with Rhythmic open. There's probably a way you could open two Rhythmics without it affecting NinjaTrader. I'm going to have a look into it. Because I like the idea of that. I mean, if you're trading 20 contracts, 2 contracts a piece, and you lose a trade, you could potentially lose $4,000. And you do not want to be doing that just for the sake of, you know, having a little bit of protection. So there's a leg. Let's get another leg. Yeah, he does. Yeah, I can't check him at the moment. My membership's run out. I did a year when I first started. Then I left it for six or 8 months, and then I did another year just to re going over it, and that run out I think last month sometime. So I'm not a member at the moment. Sometimes it's good to go back and go over the basics and refresh yourself. So if I get to the stage where I'm, you know, getting a bit frustrated for whatever reason or another, I might sign up to the membership and go over the basics again. It's always good to look at the basics, isn't it, and keep that, you know, that initial bit of learning in. You've closed your positions, but the broker has both your bracket orders still in place, and it needs NinjaTrader to activate close. Yeah, it does, yeah. There's got to be a way of being able to do it all. I think up until recently, because I've been, you know, I haven't really made a lot of money and bits of money and stuff. It's not been so much of a concern, but once you start to build accounts and that, it's something you need to really look into just to, you know, give yourself as much protection as you can. Do you know what the win rate is? Do you know what your win rate is? No, I've zeroed it back out when I blew out that other account. I've zeroed it back out. When I started Newer Pit, because I probably shouldn't do really, but I did. I went into TraderSync and zeroed it out to start these new PA accounts. Trouble is, I think my win rate was about 93%, but then you lose a trade, and then I ended up jumping back in again and losing another one, which knocks your win rate back down. But I suppose if I'm trading sensibly, I would say between 85 and 90%. If I'm trading sensibly. you know, if I go back over my, the way to do it is to go back over these. If I go back over here, so 2 points up, 2.5 points up, 2 points up, 2 points up, 175 down, 5-2 up, 4 odd up, 8 odd up, 2 points up, nothing there. Don't know what happened there. 2 points up, 4 points odd down, no trades, 1.5 up, 1 up, 1.5 up, 2. So I would have certainly said, if I'm, it's hard to say really. It probably wouldn't be fair for me to give an estimate, but you know, what I'm concentrating on is the psychological side, because when I'm trading well, and I think my patience is okay, I think my trading skill is up enough now to be able to make money, but it's when I take a loss, that's when things turn to rat shit, in a way. So I think what happens, I was thinking about this last night, because I was gonna make a video actually, just sort of for my benefit and maybe to help others. So let's say, for instance, this is your skill level, yeah. So there's your skill level, and then you've got your psychological level. Let's put your psychological level there, something like that, yeah. So we start down here and start to work up, yeah, as our skill level, and our emotional level is up here, okay. So I'm probably not explaining that. I went around about 9%. You can blow up an account as long as your risk management works. Yeah, but when I blow accounts, it's usually because of revenge trading. I can safely say I've never blown an account by trading it properly, which I know is a bit sad, isn't it? But it's kind of as the emotional effect. But I'm a lot more confident in my trading lately. It's starting to feel like I've been doing it properly as a full-time job now. I'm starting to get comfortable with me trading and more confident in my skill. Let me just think about it. So, yeah, this is your sort of skill level. We start off here and we work up, and then this is your emotional level. It's very strong, and the more time you spend at the charts, this starts to dip, and at some point, it's going to do this. At some point, your skill level's going to get, you know, as your skill level comes up, you're going to start to get confident and belief, and as this gets less and less, it's going to start to tip in your favour. I can't tip that because it's not. Do you see what I mean? Does that make sense? So as you're getting better and better and better, and your emotions when you first start are slowly decreasing, and then you'll get to the sort of area where you've got a nice balance then, and then as your skill tends to go up and these emotions tend to go down, it makes sense. It'll tend to work in your favour. Now, I can't tell you that that's definitely the way it works, but to me, it's the simplest amount of common sense. You can't do something involving a lot of emotions every single day and it affect you in exactly the same way. It's an impossibility. It can't do that. So as you get more and more confident in your skills, you'll start to think, well, it doesn't matter if I lose a trade, I can still do it. And if you guys are like me, you know, in the past, when I've got a PA account, I'll go, maybe it's having 2 contracts, and I'll see it going up and I'll do click, click, click. I'll jump in for 6 contracts just to try and get a bit of luck. If I can get $800, and if I get $800, I'll go, okay, now I'll take my time. Because I didn't believe I had enough skills to be able to get up there by myself without a little bit of luck or a quick risk. But as you start to believe in your trading, and you know, I find now I stay out of bad setups. I don't get trapped nowhere near, and that's telling me that I'm getting better at what I do. And I'm starting to think now that even with the odd loss, it's really not going to make a difference if I think about it logically. So I'm getting to that stage now where I genuinely feel that it's tipping in my favour. So here's my skill and here's my emotions. You know, at the time it's been the other way around, but as these skills, that would have been a better way to do it, wouldn't it? There's no trades here for me at the moment, anyway. Sort of, you know, as sort of our skills and emotions sort of work, you know, your skill level's down here and your emotional level down here. But as you get better and better at what you do, you start to think, well, actually, you know, the losses aren't as much of an effect, and then you get that, and at some point it'll start tipping your favour. And it's strange. I've read so many books about trader psychology and seen so many, you know, different talks and this, and I've never heard anybody say the answer to the trading psychology is just time. You know, people say you need to take breaths, you need to meditate, you need hypnosis, you need to play affirmations, you need to walk away from the chart, you need to put the mouse down, you need to count to 10, you need to do square. I've heard so many different methods. You need to journal. I've heard so many different methods how to get around the psychological side of trading, when for me, the most obvious one, you know, they say, what is it, Occam's razor, the most obvious answer is usually the right one. It makes perfect sense. The more you're doing something, the better it gets. I never hear anybody say that. It's just time. The answer to the trader psychology problem is time. You have to expose yourself enough on a regular basis for those emotions to slowly decrease. And as that happens, your skill level climbs, it starts to tip. I've never heard anybody explain it like that. Cold plunge. In fact, it's funny you mentioned that. It's stuck in my head. I was looking at, in fact, I'll show you. I was looking at YouTube with mystery over the weekend, and I watched this guy, this Australian guy, and he got one of those little chest freezers. Where is it? Where's my history? He got one of those chest freezers, and I think he did. Did he do a month? He ended up getting in for 20 minutes. Might be a ways down here. I'm just not brilliant with cold water. But this guy's mental. I spend that much time on YouTube. When was it? Oh, there we go. That's in there.
So
Yeah, that's the guy there. I was watching that the other day. I have muted it, but I think he does it over. He says he gets up to 30 minutes, but he gets in for so much. Every single day he gets in, and he gets long. I think he adds 45 seconds extra every day, but it is supposed to be massively beneficial. Yeah, he did 30 minutes. There we go. 12 minutes, 13:10, 13:36. So over a period of a month he gets, but it's interesting actually. But I don't know. I don't know how good I am with cold water. But it's supposed to be beneficial. Apparently you're supposed to get in just over the level of your heart, aren't you? Which is sort of, you know, your upper chest. It's supposed to be beneficial. I think you need to be a proper man to do that. I don't think I can categorise as that. I'm wondering whether there is just a spike in the channel. I've been doing it for a year now, and it still sucks. You just answered my question. Yeah, I used to watch, what's his name, Bear Grylls used to do stuff like that, didn't he, when he was doing bits, TV programmes in places like Norway where they cut out a piece of ice and that. Sod that. I don't think I could do it. I mean, we have a pool in the garden throughout the summer months, one of those sort of 12-foot Intex pools, and unless that's about 20, 26, 28 degrees, I don't go anywhere near it. Why did that second entry long work out? That one there. Not work out second entry long. Second entry long. One from earlier. Tell me roughly whereabouts second entry long. You tell me what time it was, bud, on my time there. 1327. This one here, second entry long. That one there. That's the only one you can think of. Yeah, it's just too congested. I think Max says 3 or more bars. Yeah, 3 or more bars back to back. Stay out of it. So we do go up. We have these 3 bars, don't we? And it triggers you and stops you out. When it's congested like that, it has got a tendency to turn into Trap City. So yeah, if you went short there, it triggered you, stopped you out. If you went long there, it triggered you, stopped you out. If you went long there, you got away with that one. But it's just, whenever you see 3 bars like that side by side, just stay out of it. It's just not worth it. When we had the 3 bars there, when we had another one appear, you can see it then, can't you? Also had a short-term trend, didn't get a new low. Yeah, well, that one there. See, short-term trend, we had a break and a new low. So we might have done, but I'm guessing, yeah, it didn't interest me that. I don't like it. You know, you'll just get used to looking at a picture and going, I don't like the picture I'm seeing. If you took that and it got trapped, you'd be staring at that trade for about 2 minutes, and that trade would burn a hole in your brain. It really will log in your brain. You're not just having a quick glance at it, you're glued to it. And when you've got your money involved, you've got an emotional connection with that picture. And the more of those pictures you get trapped in, the more they log inside your head. And when you look at them again, you think, something doesn't feel right here. Sometimes I can't quite put my finger on it. There was a trade we had a few days ago. It was a second entry long, and it looked like a good setup, but something just scared me about it. And it ended up triggering it and coming back down. So the more these times you get stuck into a trade and you get an emotional connection because you got money on the line, these pictures will start to log in your brain. And then when you get the same one again, something just won't feel right. And that's how I found the best way to describe it, which is then how I just stay out of trades. Just avoid them. You know, don't feel like you've got to get in it on everything that looks like a trade. You really haven't. Just think about getting one really good setup. Sometimes you get 2, or if you're lucky, 3. You don't really get a lot of really good setups in a day, but even one solid setup a day can make you all the money you want, honestly. You know, don't feel like you've got to be taking a trade every 5 minutes. You really haven't. It's just nothing you can do. It's not worth trading when you get to these tops, even if you've got a setup. Anytime, mate. Anytime. That's how I've found. You know, when you sort of go through it, you describe it how it feels. You know, and that's all it is. What was that trade we had the other day? Someone said it was a perfect looking setup, but the context was wrong, and it was just something. It was too spread apart. I can't remember where it was now. I'm pretty sure we were going up, and it triggered it and stopped it out. I can't remember where it was now. I'm sure we were going up. It was I thought that might have been it. Yeah, that was it. A couple of people got stung there, so you think, okay, nice looking channel, yeah. Second entry long, right off the entry point, makes sense. And it triggered and stopped out. I don't like it. I can't tell you exactly why. It is 2 legs back. But I don't like it. You got stopped out there too, yeah. I don't know, it's just got stay out written all over it to me. It might be just because, as I mentioned, you get stuck in these pictures. That one didn't trigger, didn't even a bearish bar. I don't know, something about it I just didn't like. you know, I mean, you can argue it's going up, can't you? I mean, you know, you could be, you know what I mean? It's at the key entry point. So it's sort of, it's giving, I get the signals it's giving you, but for me, it just looked horrible. I can't really describe why. But I noticed a few people got stuck on it, but, you know, it's even a measured move. But that's the thing about context. The setups are the easy bit. Applying them to the right context is the real skill. But I don't know why I didn't like that. It's too far apart, or it's maybe this is a bit lower. It's hard to say because it's not a big break. Yeah, maybe. It might be something to do with it's a bit. Usually, when we ever get two legs, we'll get a leg like that, and then another leg, and the bottom will be a bit further up. But you know, I understand people think we're going up. What happens when we break? We make a new extreme. So you think second entry. It's a second entry long. It's above. It's enough above there. You think it's going to push up, but something I just didn't like about it, and I left it. There wasn't no doubt about it. I just thought, well, I'm not taking that. But that's how it works over time. You do just get to be able to look at something and go, don't like it. I don't tend to even really count so much now. It's a lot of visual stuff, isn't it? Artie, how you doing, my friend? If you had your channel narrower, that was a new high. Yeah, there's probably a lot of things about it, to be honest with you. Have you tried trading with order flow? That's a good question, actually. I've looked into it a bit. In fact, I even downloaded the one from Gominator or something, is it? But I couldn't figure out how to open it. So I think I had the free week? I couldn't figure out how to open it. But, you know, in all fairness, because I trade max price action and only go for 2 points, I don't think it would benefit me, because the setups I take, if they're really nice, solid setups, they just don't fail. So I think I did spend a lot of time trying to hunt for things to make things better, to improve things, to tweak it. And I think what I've realised is it doesn't really need tweaking. You just need to follow the rules. And if you follow the rules, it works well. Where Mac as SST and has had a break, doesn't consider it. Yeah. Sometimes I see where there was a trade and Mac doesn't even mention it. I'm thinking, why didn't you mention that one? But because I think he's that more advanced than us, he just assumes maybe you wouldn't take it. But you know, when you are invested in a trade. If you take a setup, you've got money in there. You don't turn away. You're glued to it. You read in all this. You read in the picture, and you're thinking, okay. You know, if you're going to trade here, you read in this picture, and this picture does stay in your head. You know, as I mentioned before, you can drive through a city or a town 5 years ago, and if you go back there again, something feels familiar. Something's familiar. You notice something. And when you are glued to this and you've got money on the line, it makes sense that you're not going to forget that picture in a hurry. And when you get enough of those bad trades and those traps in your brain, sooner or later, something's going to start ringing alarm bells when you're looking at that picture again. It is frustrating trading because it does take a long time. I didn't think it was anywhere near as difficult as it was. And that goes to show, by the way, I gave up my job after a month. But it's not learning the setups. You know, you can teach someone what a second entry is in 5 minutes, but it's applying it to the context of the market is the real tough bit. And it does take time. You know, I've been doing a little over 3 years now. I expect to break even in the next 6 months. And that just goes to show 3.5 years without technically making a penny. And I've been obsessed with it. I've thrown my whole life into it, and it's taken 3.5 years nearly. So it just goes to show how tough it is. I can show you multiple times where Macca's. Oh yeah. Yeah, there is a lot of times. Yeah, I mean, if you go back on that, as Artie says, where was it? It was further back here, wasn't it? Where was it? There, that was it. So let's just have a quick look at this. So you got that there, so I'd have that maybe there, possibly, maybe slightly here, like that. Let's put it there. So at the time, maybe a correction, another leg up. So let me have a look. No, it doesn't really make sense that you'd have that, wouldn't you? And then you'd be pushing up and making some more highs. I can't remember where we had a range day there, did we? So there's a possibility it's ranging. In fact, it probably is actually. 1 year, 13 months, trading prop firm still. Yeah, I traded way too early. I think everybody does. Yeah, looks like a range day, Artie, doesn't it? Certainly. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think it's a range day, so that really is just a failed breakout, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, forget this little bit of a push here. It's clearly just sideways, so really, I can't remember part of the reason that took me out of it. I just didn't like it. It looks like it's coming down to me. If it was like that, if that was about up here, it might not have been so bad, but I think it's just a failed breakout, that. Yeah, I started in the November, so I've been trading 4 years. 4 years is coming November. I started with currency, which in all honesty was a ball ache. I had screens and monitors everywhere. We spent most of the time just looking for a trend to trade, and I did think it was a ball ache. There seemed so much more to it. And then when I saw those two guys trading, trading this, I saw them trading. There were futures contracts on one chart on one time frame, and I've got on one of my screens. There's the Canadian dollar and the euro and something else there, and the US dollar and the Swiss franc, and I just had bunches of the majors and the minors, and I had another screen showing you. With squiggly lines showing you strong currencies against weak currencies, and it was charts everywhere. You're right, it was a pain. There was so much to it, and then when I saw this guy trading a 3-hour day, one chart, one time frame, I thought that was for me. Frickin' frat, that's the two. So, I mean, I'm pleased for them. They got me into it, but I fell in love with that way of making money. As you guys know, I'm quite a wired person. I can't sit there all day and have one trade in and wait for it. My brain needs sort of filling quite quickly. So the kind of speed this works, it kind of works for me. It kind of fits my personality, I think. So just sitting there with one chart, it was just refreshing. And I've never looked back, to be honest with you. But I think I would say those two guys have probably got Mac a lot more business than he thinks. I know they did the thing where they copied it a bit, which obviously wasn't a sensible thing to do, but I certainly think he got them some business. In fact, I was about to pay the £300 for their course, or $350, whatever it was. I think he's sort of done him a favour in a way. But that's just nothing nicer than just looking at this chart and looking for a trade. All I need is one a day. So, Phil, you're still on the sim 13 months. So, let me read that again. By the way, almost how long it takes. I've been trading for 2 years. Good. Well, that means you're a stayer. So that's a good sign. A lot of people would have given up by then, so that's good. 1 year on a sim. I'm glad you said that, because I mentioned that a few days ago. I think if I was to tell myself what to do now, I would say spend 12 months on a sim. Before that, you purely taking gambles. You might as well flip a coin. You'd be just as successful, going to a casino. So I think that's perfect. That trade for a year straight away, just on a sim. Don't even add the money aspect. Just focus on what you're doing. But what you really have to do is pretend you are trading for real money, because it's very easy just to jump in. But you do need to experiment anyway. You do need to click a bunch of buttons just to get it out your system. But I think that's a good idea. And then slowly move on to prop firms. I think prop firms are great because they enable you to trade and have that little bit of exposure, which you've got to ultimately go through. But I think you've done the right thing there. I jumped in way too early and ended up losing more money than I needed to. But it's very hard to tell someone what it's like without experiencing it. And the only way you know what trading is like is experience it. You can't explain it to somebody how those emotions affect you. Because I used to say to my wife, I've blown another account, and she said, well, why keep trading? But you can't explain how those emotions sort of jump in and take over. If you can't afford it, then buy $80 evals. If you pass, don't trade the PA. Yeah. I'll tell you another thing I would suggest as well is when you download NinjaTrader, you ought to have all these automated strategy. You need the license. And I paid $1,000 for the license. Now, you can get it cheaper, I believe, but you've got to pay certain fees, haven't you? But what you can do is use Apex code and just sign up for the 80%, where they have 80% a month, and just sign up to one eval and pay $30 a month, and then you can trade the program for free. So that's an option as well. After Mac, I unsubscribe to news. I took less chance. I feel more relaxed. Yeah, definitely. I think this system's brilliant. I do. I have heard people say in the past, they don't think it works, but it does take time to learn, and that's not down to the strategy at all. That's purely down to the context. You can't just take it. If there's a second entry long, you can't take it if you're in a downtrend. You've got to apply it to the correct context of the market, and the market has a tendency of bouncing in all directions. It has times where it's congested, and there's so many areas where you can't trade, and you've just got to sit and wait patiently. And when you're a newer trader, that's near damn impossible to do, because it's like giving a 20-year-old lad a machine gun and telling him, now just don't pull the trigger. You can't do it. You're itching to take trades. That's the first thing you want to do. Stick a bit of money on it and do a trade, make some money. But it's impossible. You can't just jump in and start making money. It doesn't happen. Absolutely, yeah, one bullet at a time. But it's been the toughest thing I've ever done. I'm 54, and I've done a bunch of things in my life, and it's by far the hardest by a mile. Purely and simply because the psychological effect you have, and you're using your own money. Most other jobs, you start on a Monday, you get paid on a Friday. You might spend 3 years not making a single penny. It's tough, but if you want to earn good money, it's the only way to do it. And my belief is, if you don't give up and you just keep trying, those emotions that are really making it difficult for you to progress forward will slowly start to dissipate. It's human nature. You can't do the same scary thing day in and day out and it will have the same effect. It will start to fall away. But it just takes time. And that's where most people fail. They don't give it enough time. They take a bunch of losses. I've blown over 350 evaluations. That's one hell of a lot of failure. You've got to be pretty thick-skinned to have that many failures and keep coming back for more. And that's where people give in. They think, sod this is impossible. I can't do it, And it can change your mood. It can change your personality to a degree. But, you know, with time and perseverance, you'll get better at it. You can't help but not. And then hopefully then, before you know it, you'll be chatting to other young, you know, newer traders, explaining to them exactly how it works. And then going away, spending your money and enjoying your life. I'm up 118. Got some catching up to you. 118. You can't help not. You've got to blow them. You've got to blow it out your system. You can't give an 18-year-old £5,000 and just say, there you go, put that in the bank and save it. He's going to want to go out and spend it. You know, I know a couple of people who've done over 1,000. I know lots who have done 600 plus. But I'm guessing those. What I will suggest to you as well is when you start on the evaluations, just do one at a time until you can start to at least get a payment from a PA account. Don't ever take any more than one. You don't need it. Wait till you can, you know, take one evaluation at a time. When you pass it for a PA, great. Keep the one PA. When you can get a payment, then you're starting to get a little bit of a taste of it. Then maybe go up to two. But I see so many. Wilson frustrates me. As lovely guy as he is, and young Moo as well. They keep trying to get 20, and it's too much. It's too much responsibility, and it's just too much risk, and it's too scary, and it just. You know, I see Wilson trading sometimes, and I can almost feel how he feels. You know, I'm nervous watching him. So, you know, keep it small, keep it simple, just one at a time. There's no point in having 5 evaluations, trading them all on the trade copy, and making one shit trade, and then what you've done effectively is made 5 crap trades in a row. You know, don't do it to yourself. Just take it one step at a time, and you'll lose less money. And you'll have less sleepless nights. I guarantee it. I'm talking from someone who's done it the stupid way. You've had 21 accounts. I think I'm up to, I think these are 46, 47 and 48. So I haven't blown as many PA accounts as a lot, because usually I've done one on their own up until maybe the last 6 months, where I've tried to get 2 or 3 or even 4. I'm an expert at the stupid way. Yeah, I'm a professional at trading the wrong way. But, you know, you can't really teach this stuff. You can guide someone, but ultimately they've got to go through it. It's a journey. It's a rite of passage that you've got to go through. There's no easy way. You have to go through it. You have to do all the stupid stuff. And the reason you do all that is to get your brain, your mindset, to work in a different way than we're used to. You know, as human beings, we lose something, we want it back. Someone grabs it from you, you will chase them down the street to get it back. You know, we're not used to losing things and giving up things, especially money, you know. And the only way you go through it is to just, you know, you want to put muscles on in a gym. You can't do it overnight. It's going to take you a couple of years of hard work, and then you'll start to see results. The differences between doing something like that and trading is you can't see the change in your brain, and that's why you keep doubting things. But when your skill level gets up, it'll start to tip in your favour, and then you'll start to think, I can do this, and then the emotional stuff will start to dissipate and just won't have the same effect. But you've just got to stick at it and just keep trying and trying. You're going to have days where you feel like your arse is flipping falling out. You know what I mean? And it's horrible. You know, I've talked to a lot of you guys who've been with me since the early days, and, you know, since I started streaming, and, you know, we've had lots of conversations about how bad we feel and how physically sick you feel. It's horrible. In fact, that reminds me, Artie, I listened to this earlier. This is something for you guys to help you as well. I think it's good to get into a good mindset before you trade. Where's my emails? An Artie sent me this. Where is it? Have a look. Where is it? There it is. Oh, let's drag it out of the way. I can open it up a bit. Where is it? Why can't I not open that? There we go. Okay. There you go. There's no picture to it. It's just, it's like, let's give you a quick
6 a.m. in your hand.
glimpse of it. There you go.
If you want something, you have got to be relentless. You've got to learn how to become resourceful. You've got to learn how to become creative.
So what it basically is, it's about 16 minutes. He strung them together, different motivational. I think there's people like Tony Robbins on there. There's another voice I recognise. But it just gets you in a good mindset, I think. Especially, you know, when you're struggling and you're a bit frustrated and a bit down, it just tends to, you know, give you a little bit of lift and prepares you for a day. I don't think that's a bad way to start the day, to be fair. That shit fires me up. Yeah, I listened to it early before I started. Yeah, absolutely. You know, the trouble is we don't work for big city banks where you've got experienced guys say, you'll be fine, you can do this, you got any problems, come to me. We have to learn all this stuff off our own back. You know, we have to be our own motivational coaches. You know, in my honest opinion, it's a lot harder to learn it as a retail trade than it is if you work for a company, because you've got experts who've been doing it for years, helping you, sitting with you and guiding you. We're on our own. You know, so it's harder to learn it this way, and when you start earning money, you damn well deserve it. It is a lonely job, yeah. You've got no one sat next to you, you know, pointing you in the right direction. You know, we have to find out our own. We have to do our own studying. You know, look for our own bits of information here or there. Pay for our own courses. You know, buy your own equipment and stuff like that, computers, software, you know, whereas you work for a company, it's all provided for you. So, you know, I think that's a good idea to listen to that. It just gets you in a clear mind frame. But if you are newish and you are trading on just a sim, you've really got to try and wait for those good setups. You are going to experiment a bit, but, you know, get the first few months out of your system, press a few buttons, do a bunch of silly stuff, and then start to really focus on what you're doing, and you'll get that skill level up quicker. But when you make mistakes and you fail, don't beat yourself up. Think about it as a valuable lesson, because every time you fail, you've been given a free lesson in getting it right. So, you know, value it. Don't let it get you down. Don't force trades. Sit back. You don't need tons of trades a day. The first time I ever put money into this, I worked out after the trading day, I was up, I can't remember, I was up about $85 or something. And what I didn't realise, I had about $175 worth of fees for that day. So that just shows how many trades I took. Now, I probably take an average of one a day, sometimes two, on a rare occasion, three. Because you've got to filter out the average trades, the poor ones, the risky ones, the congested ones, and wait for those good setups. And when you see a really good solid setup, yes, disconnected. Okay, reconnected. Oh, I don't like that. Okay, in fact, I'm going to sit tight a minute, just in case we come down. Yeah, just fill the gap from yesterday. Excellent. I'm just putting that there just in case we've come close to it and close to it again. Let's see if we can get a couple of legs down here. I can't put the link into it for some reason. Or can I? Let me have a look. Let's see if I can do it. History. There's no picture to it. Okay. Let's put it back on. Where's the link? How do I get the link? Okay, share. Okay, copy. This might work. Let's have that. Oh, balls, what have I done? Oh, sorry about that. I accidentally shut down the YouTube. I'm glad that worked. Okay, let's see if this works. There you go. There you go. That's the link there. I'm glad I was able to connect that. I actually shut the whole page down. Great. Okay, so there you go. So yeah, I'm going to take a break in a minute. I'm just going to see if we can get a couple of legs down. You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. I'm not a fan of this. It's a bit sideways here. Yeah, don't be afraid to leave a trade if it just doesn't look right. Don't think, oh, I'll take it. Might be the only opportunity I get. You're much better to lose a trade than take a stupid risky one, because if you take a risky one, you've then got to do another 1.5 trades just to get back to break even. So just wait for those good ones, the ones that jump out at you and wave. You done, are you? Leaving with a win. Good on you, mate. Yes. Yeah, you take it easy, but have a good weekend. Yeah, always best to end on a Friday with a green day if you can. It makes the weekend way more relaxing. Yeah, there's nothing to take here, really. Okay, I'd expect this to come down a little bit. So if you did take that one, tick above it, you'd have squeezed 1.5 out of it. It's just too risky, that was. I'm not saying it's not going to push up, but this has just got risky written all over it. Especially when we got this big vacant area. Wow. Okay. I'm guessing somebody gave up there, and there'd have probably been some shorts there. It's not about money right now. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. It does seem like a range day today, in all fairness. We just come down and we've gone up. So, just going to pop that on there. Quick cup of tea, and I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. In fact, the NQ is even more confusing than this today. Break. It's just not very clear, this at all, really. So it was the round yesterday. It was a lot easier to read on this, but not so much. So maybe this is a channel with a break. New high. Made another attempt to go higher. Are we continuing up, or are we not coming down? I don't know whether there's a bigger channel working there. There may be. If it is, we may have had a break. So I just don't know. Maybe a spike in the channel. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of this. I don't like it when I don't know what's going on. It makes me stay out of trades. So, in all fairness, this could do anything, up or down. May even just be a bit rangy for now. Yes, a lot of times in these channels, these bigger channels will go up, go sideways, start to work up there, get a little bit of sort of roots down, and then on off we go again. So, thanks for the stream, mate. Yeah, you too, buddy. Take it easy, Kev. Better late than pregnant. Absolutely, it was down over there. Ended up. Good on you, mate. Good on you. That should fuel that boat of yours for a couple of hours. Yeah, you too, buddy. You too, mate. You lucky devil. Closest I've had is a rubber dinghy. Maybe one day I'll come past you in yours, and the wake of mine will tip you over. Yeah, I would love a boat. Something nice about a boat. Anything that goes fast and makes loud noise. If I ever get over there, mate, I will look you up. For sure. Mind you, have hurricanes, don't you? They scare me. Market's moving. Not too bad, but it's just not really giving us any offers. It's a shame that bar didn't push a little bit higher, because we've got a leg down, maybe a triple test that. It's just a bit too congested for me. I did look at somewhere around here, but same again, congested. I got to say, when Mac marks the chart, well, he won't today, but when he does mark it, he seems to find these trades I can't seem to sell, but sometimes he puts the oddest trades. I see another leg down, maybe a triple test there. In fact, thinking about it, there is a second entry short there and 1-2. It is a triple test, so maybe that wasn't that bad. The trouble is, it's okay in hindsight, isn't it? So we got a bit of a break there. The trouble is, you just don't know. In real time, it's 10 times harder to make these, to find these trades and to read them. You got all the time in the world after, but you just haven't got the time to think and work things out. This market moves quite quick, so your decisions have got to be really quick. Otherwise you end up missing out. But it looks like 2 legs down. You don't know whether it's going to trigger a short and push up there. It's not very clear. When you use Apex, who is acting as the broker? Apex are. what you're effectively doing is you trade on an evaluation. Excuse me, you trade in a sim. You trade on a PA account, you trade in a sim. They just pay you. And at some point, I believe, then if you're consistently profitable, I believe they copy your trades to a live account. I've heard two things. I've heard they'll put you on a live account. They'll give you the option to take all your money and go, or they'll put you on a live account. And I've heard that they just copy your trades. So effectively, they keep you on a sim and they just copy your trades. So, so Apex basically will act as the broker. So everything's done through Apex. So, but yeah, I've heard a bunch of different things. But the main thing that concerns me is, am I going to get paid? I've been paid. I had 10,000. It's not a huge amount. $10,000 from trading accounts last year with Apex. I could have had about another 4, maybe about another 6, but I ended up trying to hold them a bit longer, and I wasn't in the right frame of mind at the time. I should have just took the money. I think it's important to take the money initially. Just get a few payments under your belt. Get some of your money back because you've got money to reinvest. So we're going to touch. I think that is better than that one. Touch in there. Yeah, sometimes you have these big ones, you're missing out on trades. The reason I've adjusted that, because we do seem like we're working up now again. There is a higher low there. We've sort of had a couple of legs back. There is a higher low. Then if that continues to work, I can see that pushing up. So let's just check. We got no resistance. So we got the open there, which we may have had a bit of a bounce off. So let's see if we get a break or something here. My only slight concern is we've been at the top here, and the top here. We've come back to the bottom of the range again, and we've only got 3/4 of the way up, which tells me we're going to likely have a break because we've lost a bit of momentum to get right back up to the top again. So I would expect a couple of legs down. If we do push up again, I'd be surprised if we can get past this level here without a break. I might be wrong, but usually when we get up to the top, we come back. Beautiful. We get up to the top, we come back. Beautiful. But then we haven't got very far here. We're not quite at the top of these range highs, are we? Top of the channel. So that might have lost a bit of momentum. We've had another go up, so that might have lost a bit of momentum again. So we may have another attempt, but I would like to see a break here if we're going to push any higher. Because if I was going to buy this channel, I would want to do it down here somewhere. So it does just look like a range day today. Yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable with trading on one of these. I'd feel much better if we had a break. Okay, so the fact that we're coming away from this, we've been up to the tops, we've been up to the tops, we've been up to the tops. The fact that we're coming away is telling me we're likely going to have a break. And if I line these tops up, we may come down to here and start going up at a slightly different angle. So if you took that one, you're going to get stopped out, I think. I get that it's off the key entry point, but the fact that we've made 3 attempts to go higher is telling me we need to come back a little bit before we push higher if we can. We just seem to be struggling there to push up. Let's see if that holds. I don't think it will. Was that stop hit or not? I don't think it was it? No. Okay. I'd like to see that trigger and then come down for a second leg. It might not trigger. But what I'd like to do is have a leg and a leg and come down and start working off this, because it kind of works along the top. So I'm not saying that's how it's going to work, but it often does. I'd like to see that trigger before it comes down. It's got to come down here for me. To, below one of these, I think. Come on. Leg, that would get us down to this area, I think. Okay, we've come down to the bottom. Was where I was hoping it would. Let's see what happens now. If we can get a second entry wrong, I never take that first one. I always wait for the higher low now because you never know. Just stops you getting trapped. I mean, if you take a long there, it could trigger and come down, and then we may end up getting a channel down. So I think the best bet, personally, is to wait for the higher low. Depends. Sometimes I will. It depends on how it looks at the time. But if I've got any doubts, I'll wait for the higher low. That's no good anyway, see. Oh, God. These channels just keep getting better and better. Okay, that I like. Touch a bunch of times, close enough. Looks like it's touching there. Touch at the top, touch the top, touch the top. That looks good to me. I can squeeze that in there and get that where I want it to. I really like that channel, so I'm pleased about that. So if we can get a second entry long and then wait for a higher low, because you never know when it's going to just drop out of here. We've bounced off that open, see, so that might be a reason enough to have a decent break. I can't make my mind up what's going on the N key, really. it's a very small risk that, but I'm just going to sit tight for the higher low. It is a small risk. It is a second entry long, but I don't know, this day's a bit funny today, so I'm just going to sit tight, wait for the higher low. Because that could sting you. Yeah, you too, bud. Take it easy. Let's see if that second entry holds. I fear it doesn't. It won't. You never know. It may do. Sometimes they do. If there's enough if there's enough traders in there. But the trouble is that's knocking on the door again and again and again. It's only got to tick through, and there you go. See, it is a second entry long. You could say it's off that key entry point. It kind of looks okay. You know what I mean? Doesn't it? Why wouldn't you take that? But we're up the top here. We're up the top here. To me, it's losing momentum. And I think in a lot of cases, you're always best to wait for the higher low. If you took that second entry long, you're lost. If you decided to wait for the higher low, you save yourself a loss. So in most cases, I think you're always best to... I actually like that channel. I got no issues with it. I think it fits nice. We've bounced off the midline. That might be, a reason why we might have a break of this. I don't know, but... you could trade that as a failed breakout. I'll tell you something now, there'll be some traders who got stuck there. You could trade that as a failed breakout the range. I get it. It's a second entry long, fade the range. It's off the key entry point. We're going up anyway. Why wouldn't that work? But something just doesn't look right. I don't like the way we've pushed up here and we haven't come right the way back, and we're up here, further away, and we're up here. It's losing momentum going up for me. So you just don't know when things are going to turn, but there will have been some traders got trapped there. I don't doubt it, but it just triggers them and stops them out. It is frustrating to hell when you see that, especially if you've been in it. I've been in that more times than I can care to admit. But just sometimes when you'll see, we come up here, it makes sense. We come back, we're bouncing, we're slowly working on it. It makes sense. We're going to push up. It was struggling to get up there again, but we had two lovely pullbacks. Still wouldn't want to get in, and then we started to move. But it just looks like it's struggling to get higher. I would expect a bigger break or a bigger correction before we go higher. It is below the EMA, but I see Mac still taking trades below the EMA all the time. If the setup's good enough, I wouldn't let it stop me going long. But it's a shame that. Yeah, I'm just looking at Marco's charts. His bars are quite different in some cases. Are your guys' bars the same as mine? Or similar? If I get Marco's charts up, it's quite different than mine. There was a setup here that he had and I didn't. It can happen sometimes. Yeah, just looking at Marco's chart here. We got this channel up here. Let's put mine over there. We're in this, see this pullback here, these 2 legs back. We've got a small channel there. We've got 2 legs back. It just crosses, excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. We got these 2 legs back, but he's got a nice bar there, which is broken below that red bearish bar. That, you know, he's got 1 red bearish bar there. I've got 2, and that bar there didn't break below, so it's quite different. So it may have got me interested in a trade there, but he's got it. He's got 2 legs back in a bar, and then he's got a higher low. I've got neither. So same up here as well. His bar's sitting so different, although that's just a first entry. So, but it just goes to show sometimes these bars can look quite different. I hate that one. They can't flipping go. That's all. Yeah, it just goes to show. Let's reload my historic, see if it looks any better. No, that hasn't improved that, has it? Oh. Leg. No, I've still got 2 bars. He had 1 single red bar, and that next green bar broke a few ticks below there, which gave him a second entry long, and then he had a high low. I haven't got either. So, I think there's a good chance we can get up to the top today, maybe even higher. So I'd like to see a nice correction here, and then slowly start to work higher. It's a slow afternoon. So I'd like to see a leg, and then another leg, and then maybe a bit of sideways and a slow work up. Not getting involved in anything here. A lot of times it'll break, give you a long, trap you, and come down for the leg. These aren't as, they don't break like they used to. I remember a couple of years ago you'd have a break at a channel and it moves straight up, but it doesn't always now. Second entry short there. Way too far from the EMA. We're currently going up, so I can't get involved in that. It's congested. Too far from the EMA. Wouldn't be surprised if it triggered it, stopped it out, and then had another leg down here. Okay, that second entry short is triggered. Let's see if it goes up, stops it out. It looks like a weak position. I wouldn't be going short there. Although I do expect another leg down, I think that's too good to be able to not take the stop out. In Marco's chart, yeah, he's done his a bit different than mine. He's done his like that, hasn't he? I think I did have that within that, but I got rid of it. Yeah, I like that. Got a touch there, bunch of touches there. I like the way it's fitting on the top. See a leg up, 2 legs of correction. Leg up. Yeah, for me, I like this. I expect to push up and make a new high from it. You never know. Sometimes if you squeeze them tight, see that fits lovely, I think. Down here, up here, really nice at the top. It seems to fit lovely. Yeah, so if you did say that second entry short, you just got stung. It's just too weak, it's congested, it's too far from the EMA. It's floating in the middle of nowhere, really. You don't know whether we're going up, coming back down. Can't take a long here either, because there is a little channel. We could have a break and make a new low before we go long, if we go long. There's nothing here for us. It could sting you there and come down. Another trap, possibly. This looks like it's sucking in longs to me. I'd expect this to come down. I'd like to see a leg and a leg. So that one, if you don't jump in, this one starts to push up, and then you jump in, and then it triggers you and comes down and stops you out. I'm not saying it's going to, but you see it all the time. It does. If you don't take that one, it gives you another one, and it's like, come on, follow me. And all of a sudden you go, okay, I'll get in now, and then all of a sudden it triggers, down it comes. Okay, there's a higher low on the NQ. We got nothing here, unfortunately. What's going to happen there? Okay, there is a higher low on the NQ, so we can get a higher low here. We got a recount there, so no trade for us at all, really. I'd still like to see another leg. I'd like to see something like that. Come on down. God, this is slow, isn't it? Sorry, but I didn't say that. Can you please show you get that lag? All this comes with max price action trading system. It's free on his channel, but his channel is $125 per year, which is ridiculously cheap in my opinion. That's the system I'm trading here. So if you are interested, you can get it on there. There's all sorts of videos on there and gizmos and gadgets, midday charts, indicators and all sorts of stuff. I've been in this for a couple of years, split over a little bit, but it cost $125 per year, which is an absolute steal. He's a lovely guy. So it's available on there anyway if you are interested. I can definitely vouch for him. I think a lot of traders in this room here use him as well. So yeah, you get that. The lag indicator, you get the news as well, amongst a few other things. You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. Okay, is this the start of our other leg? Down. So it does look like it's sucking you in that to me. It does that sometimes, struggles to get up. Gives you, tries to attract you in it and end up triggers you and stops you out. Not that it has yet, but that's why I just don't get into those really slow moving, scary looking things. Sometimes the slower the market moves in one direction, the quicker it can come down in the other direction. We may blank today. Uh, so if you took that, triggered you, stopped you out. So this is the base of that that measured leg. I'd like to see 2 legs before I think about going long. It's just too risky jumping in here when they're going up slow. It can come down flush, you just take out all your stops. I've been in trades like this so many times. That one you'd have got something out of. So you'd have got 2 points off that comfortably. That triggered you, took you out. So before get yourself to bed, mate. Get off to bed, lad. $4.30. Well, you've got spirit. I'll give you that anyway. Yeah, you too, mate. Have a good weekend. Mind you, you're already in the weekend. You're already in it Saturday, aren't you? Good weekend. Just made 2. Good on you, mate. Good on you. 2 nights of 18. Lovely. $800. That's what you want. How many people earn that in a day? Some people only earn that a month. Be sleepy, but absolutely, yeah. Lovely going into the weekend when you're in the green, I've got to say. I don't even mind going in when I'm on 0, to be fair. I just don't like going into the weekend when you're on in the red. It just doesn't make the weekend as nice, does it? So I don't want to take that one because I would say that would be risky. I wouldn't be surprised if that triggers and we have the rest of that leg down. There is a bit of support there. 2 legs back. I just don't like that one. If we continue that, I may consider a higher low, but I just don't like going into all this support up here. Resistance, rather. So I'd like to see that come below, say 2 legs. We got a leg up, 2 legs of correction, another leg up. That will take us, well, plenty high enough. It is a funny old day today. It's not the easiest day to trade. That one there I mentioned, the 1, 2, 3 triple test second entry short Marco took that and it worked. My slight concern is we've already had 2 legs down, which I just don't know in real time. But he took that, and it is a second entry short, and it is a triple test. Just a bit congested, but you know, I've heard people say you can trade congestion as long as you know what you're doing. So he took something else down here as well. This bar here broke below this, and it had a bit of a stem. We didn't hear it was opposite way round, so there was no setup for me. He took a higher lower than here. We didn't get one. So his chart was quite a bit different. Sometimes it just works that way. Sometimes you get a better chart, a better signal bar. It's going to be down just to the way the data comes from the servers to my computer and your computer, wherever you are. It's only going to come a split second later, a fraction of a second later, and it can make the difference with a few ticks here or there. I think that's just the way it is. Okay. I still don't like doing this when we're slowly trying to get up. I tend to want to stay out because it'll do it so much it'll just drop. The slower it goes going up, the quicker it can come down. So I feel it's going to be a blank for me today, which I've got no worries whatsoever. Okay, so that bar's triggered. Let's see if that holds. Because if we get 2 legs down, that'll bring us down to that measured leg. Let's put it back. Okay, straight away. That's ringing alarm bells for me. That long's triggered. You could say 1, 2, triple test. Pushing up. Two, three, pump. Nothing worse than jumping into a trade and seeing that happen. It's horrible. I mean, it does in a way look like 1, 2, triple test. It's just a bit. I just don't know. I don't like the way it is off. I'd much prefer. I was going to take it. I'd much prefer it sitting on there. Sometimes they'll all, but I'd much prefer that body sat on top of that before I was even consider that, because that's just got shit trade written all over it. Depends where you put that to. You could put that there, really. There for now. Come on, put them out their misery. So you just squeezed a point there. If it doesn't go any higher, so you might have got out there. Just don't like any of this. God, this has put me to sleep, this is. Okay, I think it's time for me to knock it on the head today. It's just so slow and it's boring the arse off me, in all fairness. It's probably going to make a new high eventually. It's just so damn slow. So we've got a channel up, we've got a break, 2 legs back, not quite a full leg. I would expect it to push up and break a new high. We've certainly got some highs up here, which we can move up to. I just don't like it when it's going sideways like that. It almost sucks you in and then drops. If you'd have gotten there, you'd have got a point, but no more. Excuse me a sec. Yeah, if you'd have taken that, you'd have squeezed a point. But it's just horrible and slow and boring. It might come back later and it might be up here somewhere. It tends to do that. So, funny old day today. No trades for me. Didn't like a lot of it. A lot of it took a while to sort of work out what was going on. I mean, we seem to have 2 legs down and then we've just had this sort of slow grind up. It kind of looks okay, that channel. We started off from here, working along there, perfectly fine. Twice there, once at the top there. So I kind of like that channel. Fits quite nice. So we've had a break of this. We struggled to get up there, so I had a feeling we're going to have a break. So we've got 1 leg down. Whether we work up eventually or we break these lows, I wouldn't be shocked if we had a quick flush down, because there is some support around there. You can see that, and it's near that measured move. I mean, you could argue that measured move would be there, which would, kind of... but I wouldn't be surprised whenever it's struggling like that to get up. Usually we'll have a quick drop. It just sort of clear out any stops. Whether we will or not, your guess is as good as mine, but I wouldn't like to be in a long trade there. Whenever I've been in trades like that and they're slowly working up, they usually have a quick... yeah, you too, bud. Kanan, isn't it? Kanan, yeah. Yeah, you have a good weekend as well, mate. Yeah, it's coming to the end of my trading day now. It's not been a bad week. I only started on these a couple of days ago, so I haven't had a full week, I don't think. Maybe with one of them. So it's not been a bad week, considering. So I'm taking my time, taking it steadily anyway. So this has got to come down below these, surely. Leg and a leg. 1 big leg, 2 smaller legs. And then... we'll see, but I will be surprised if at least that isn't taken out. Maybe that. Maybe we have a quick drop and then I'll sit here for a minute. I want to see what happens. So just for any newish guys in, this Apex off we've got at the moment, 71% off, and you only need a minimum of 1 day now. So if you happen to pass it in a day, I wouldn't suggest it. You got to hit $3,000 and you only got $2,500, so you got to risk about 120. Try and make 120% profit in a day. The only way you can do that, in my opinion, is just to take big risks. It's not worth it. So I wouldn't pick them up because they're cheap and try and blag them and get in there. Trust me, out of experience, I know you'll end up blowing 9 for every one you win. But, you know, if you happen to get to 3 or 4 days and you've passed, then you know how many days you can get it passed early. But I wouldn't suggest just picking up some just to try and get lucky, because it really don't work. I know I've done enough of them that way. But if you do require it, my code's there. If you use it or you have used it, as you know, I do get a little commission from Apex, so it is appreciated. So I just want to see what happens here before I knock out on the head for the week. No trading on Monday, markets close. It is President's Day. Most of you US guys will probably know that. It's just people like Rodian and myself, anyone else from outside of the US may or may not be aware of it. So we'll be back on Tuesday. But I would suggest whenever we have these little oddities, take advantage and have a break, because learning to trade can knock you around a bit emotionally, so it's good to get away. A trader buddy of ours, we all know in here now, Sam, 5 Trader, who's having a bit of a tough time, decided to take a month or 2 off, and rightly so as well. It's good for you. It's good to get away. So I've started taking these holidays now instead of coming back and trying half a day. So if you did take that, or that one, you're still okay at the moment. How long for, I don't know though. I didn't want to get involved here. There's nothing worse than getting in a trade and being stuck in it for 20 minutes. Well, you don't know what you're you could just do anything. The fact that it's bouncing the same place, it may hold. But it's just not worth trading in this. Even if you think it's going to go up, it's just congested. It's just, you might as well toss a coin. The only way I consider going long there is we came back for that measured move and then we had a push up with a nice higher low, then I may consider. But you really want to get in where everyone else wants to get it, where everyone else is going to get in. The people that have got the big bags of money, which I'd say if you're going to go long, it's going to be down here somewhere. If you get in here, you're likely to get stuffed. And we don't want that. Excuse me a sec. Okay, folks, that is me sorted. It's just horrible, this. I could sit here for another 10 minutes while it's pissing around. So I am done. Longish day today. I only usually do about 3 hours, but, you know, some days you don't mind sitting down here. But it's just slow. I dare say, where are we now? Sort of coming to the end of lunchtime in the US East. So we may get a bit of a rally. I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a push-up. It may come from here. It may come back, hard to say, but the NQ is doing the same. It's just going sideways, so your guess is as good as mine. But I would expect the way we're holding that we're likely to get a new high from this. It's generally a range day, so we've got the overnight highs up here, but I wouldn't be shocked if I looked in an hour and we're above the all-time highs. So there you go. Funny old day today. A bit. Well, it's not very clear, is it? We had a bit of a move, but whenever we came back to the EMA, it's just a little bit congested, and we didn't get a setup here. Marco did, we didn't, or I certainly didn't, and then so it's a bit of a funny day today. The only one that I may have considered again is that second entry short triple test, but it's just a bit congested at the time. Sometimes when it's earlier on in the market, you don't have time to try and work out what the structure is of the day, but I get that when I see it. But at the time, you don't know whether you've had sort of a leg down, a break, 2 pushes down to a new low. You don't know whether it's going to push up. So it's just one of those things. Sometimes we see these things a bit different. But I'm just going to save my screen. See if it does get below there. I have a feeling it's going to break below there. I think it has to get. There's going to be maybe buyers down here, possibly. Okay, it has done. It had to, in my opinion, weed out some of these weak positions. Anything along there is now gone. That may hold. So if we can get down to this measured leg, then it may start to work up. Let's just put that measured leg back in and see how we get on. So that's there, let's say, maybe a bit shorter. There is some support along there, as we can see, but we'll see. I mean, you may put it there, but I'll probably think about there. See what happens anyway. So if you got in there or anywhere there, you got in early, you might have been okay, but it just almost, looks like it's trying, and when it's slow like that, you're best off just get out of it. Let's just say this. So, okay, we're below this line, so there's that measured leg. So leg down. Should move a bit quicker. Okay, there is some support along there. It is 2 legs down. It was a couple of 3 ticks off it, which is all right. So maybe we'll start to work up now. Probably is a bigger range there, and effectively. Yeah, that would make sense. So we've got a leg down and a leg down. I'm out now anyway. I won't be trading now. Move. So we got this channel up there. We got 2. We had a break of it. 2 nice legs of correction. We have got some area up here which we could push up to, but you never know. I mean, it could come tumbling down. It could do a bunch of stuff. But there is 2 nice legs. It's not in a hurry to push down. I like the way it dropped and then pushed up. It hasn't quite made a measured leg, so maybe it will. But that's me done for the day, folks. I'll be back again on Tuesday. No trading Monday. It's President's Day. So have a great weekend. I appreciate all the comments. It's nice to get to know you guys. You guys are like my work colleagues. Saves me sitting in a room bored by myself. So take the Monday off. Enjoy it. We've got a nice long weekend. Come back nice and fresh on Tuesday. So have a great weekend. If you're carrying on trading, best of luck. I hope we get some sort of setup. You're welcome, Chris. I hope you get some sort of setup. You may do. But failing that, I will see you all on Tuesday. Have a great evening. Stay safe, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Bye for now.